Trump is putting a massive 200% tariff on Europe's alcohol. This applies to European wines, champagnes, and spirits. But don't panic buy your favorite drinks just yet, because the EU is set to slap a 50% tariff on American whiskey starting April 1st, 2025. It's part of a larger $28 billion package hitting U.S. goods, retaliating against Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs. Trump, never one to back down, fired back on Truth Social, warning of a 200% counter tariff if the EU doesn't back off. He called the EU one of the most hostile taxing and tariffing authorities in the world. Trump claims this move would boost U.S. wine and champagne industries, but experts are warning it could effectively wipe out European alcohol imports. The markets are already jittery. U.S. stocks have taken a hit, with the Dow dropping and the S&P 500 falling below recent peaks. European winemakers' shares are feeling the pressure too. As the world's largest importer of wine and champagne, with annual sales of $4.9 billion and $1.7 billion respectively, the U.S. has a lot at stake. This potential tariff could shake up the entire global alcohol market. Diddy's lawyers say CNN altered the Cassie tape and got rid of the original footage. You know, the tape from 2016 showing Diddy doing unimaginable Cassie in a hotel hallway. Well, Diddy's team claims CNN didn't just air it, they messed with it and then destroyed the original. In a joint letter, Diddy's lawyers say CNN bought the only copy of that hotel surveillance footage. They claim CNN then uploaded it to some free editing software, altered it, and poof, the original vanished. We're talking about covering up timestamps, changing the sequence, and even speeding up the video to make Diddy's actions look faster and more aggressive. Now, this is huge because, without the original, it's going to be tough to use this as evidence. Judges typically want the raw footage, not some edited version. CNN denies altering the Cassie video with Diddy. They deny all accusations, stating they never altered or got rid of the footage and that the original remains with its source. CNN also pointed out that they aired the story months before Diddy's arrest. This video is a key piece of evidence in Diddy's upcoming trial. His team wants it excluded, arguing it doesn't fairly represent what happened. Meanwhile, Cassie's lawyer insists the video is accurate and should be admitted as evidence. This American Airlines plane burst into flames at Denver Airport. This keeps happening to so many planes. What is going on? This happened on March 13, 2025, American Airlines Flight 1006, a Boeing 737-800 carrying 172 passengers and 6 crew, experienced an engine fire at Denver International Airport. The flight, which had been diverted from its original route due to engine vibrations, caught fire while taxiing to its gate. Passengers evacuated via emergency slides and overwing exits. 12 passengers were hospitalized with minor injuries. The Denver Fire Department extinguished the fire, and the FAA has launched an investigation. This incident is making people so worried about flying on planes nowadays because this literally keeps happening every week. Are these planes not being checked properly? Trump is sending U.S. soldiers to take over Greenland. During a recent White House meeting, Trump boldly claimed that the U.S. will annex Greenland, citing national security concerns. Trump hinted at potentially increasing U.S. military presence on the island, saying, "We have quite a few soldiers that maybe you'll see more and more soldiers go there." But let's be clear, no troops have been sent to take over Greenland yet. Now, Greenland isn't having any of it. The Prime Minister is calling for a tougher rejection of Trump's plans. Denmark, which Greenland is a part of, has repeatedly shot down these proposals. Even NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte is keeping his distance from this political hot potato. So, while Trump's dreaming of star-spangled icebergs, Greenland and Denmark are giving him the cold shoulder Trump begs Supreme Court to allow him to end birthright citizenship. Trump signed an executive order on his first day in office seeking to end automatic citizenship for children born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants. This order was quickly blocked by federal judges in Maryland, Massachusetts, and Washington state who issued nationwide injunctions. Now, the administration is asking the Supreme Court to limit these injunctions only to the specific plaintiffs involved rather than applying nationwide. Acting Solicitor General Sarah Harris called it a modest request, arguing that universal injunctions transgress constitutional limits on courts' powers. Experts point put that the 14th Amendment clearly states, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States." The Supreme Court affirmed this interpretation 127 years ago. However, some conservatives claim the 14th Amendment's wording only applies to those fully subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S., potentially excluding children of undocumented immigrants. Proof that the war in Ukraine is being dragged out on purpose. Recent reports point to Moscow deliberately prolonging the war in Ukraine. A document obtained by European intelligence agencies reveals a strategy to extend it and undermine peace talks led by President Trump, while Moscow spokesperson Dmitry Peskov claims their government is unaware of these recommendations. Experts believe Russia is not interested in an early resolution to the conflict. The document's proposals align with Russia's consistent focus on broader issues of European security and NATO's role, which go beyond a simple ceasefire agreement. This strategy of prolonging the war appears to be at odds with recent US-led peace efforts, including a 30-day ceasefire proposal accepted by Ukraine but still awaiting Russia's response. Why is Donald Trump so obsessed with Canada? He views Canada as the closest target for his America First agenda, threatening massive tariffs and even suggesting the possibility of making Canada the 51st state. This isn't just about Canada. It's part of Trump's broader vision of US dominance over other nations. At the heart of this conflict is a perceived trade imbalance. Trump believes the US is being ripped off by importing more from Canada than it exports. However, experts argue this perspective is misguided. Some analysts suggest Trump's actions are driven by a desire for Arctic dominance and hemispheric control, while others point to personal grudges against Prime Minister Trudeau. The implications are serious. Trump's policies threaten the long-standing alliance between the US and Canada, potentially leading to significant economic consequences for both countries. The situation is tense, with Canada resisting Trump's demands and the US pushing for compliance. Zelensky feels manipulated and says the other side prefers conflict over peace. He is calling out Moscow for manipulating the ceasefire proposal. Here's the deal. A leaked document more specifically points out that they're planning to drag out the war until at least 2026. This strategy aims to undermine peace talks, including those led by former US President Trump. The document, authored by a Moscow think tank, outlines methods to exploit tensions between the US, China, and the EU. As you can imagine, Zelensky is frustrated about this. He's seeing through all of the tactics, which include rejecting proposals for peacekeeping forces and dismissing any political concessions from Zelensky. The document even talks about complete dismantling of the current Zelensky administration and possibly grabbing more territory. Palestinians are trapped by Israel and have nowhere to go. Since October 2023, over 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced, with people forced to move an average of 6 times. Some have been uprooted as many as 19 times. The numbers are staggering. More than 44,000 have had their lives ended, 104,000 wounded, and nearly all 2.1 million Gazans facing lack of food problems. In the West Bank, it's not much better. Israeli forces have taken out 719 Palestinians in just 1 year, the highest number since 2005. Forced evacuations and the chaos everywhere have left 63% of Gaza's buildings uninhabitable.